Okay, so I'm gonna try to make a faux crystal terrarium. So I got this at Michael's and picked up some rocks and sand and some fake succulents. Big rocks in first. I'm gonna scratch this. Okay, full of rocks. Artistic. Okay, I'm gonna pour the sand rocks. Well, I guess sand is just tiny rock. Coarse stone granules. Okay. Let's pour this on top. Okay, so we should start with succulents first, right? So I do want to put kind of the bigger ones towards the back. It stays well. Okay, that's something. She cute. So I think these just look too out of place in purple. Blue, that's, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to just use the small clusters unless I put this in like the back. Okay, the big cluster doesn't look bad in the back. What about this clear guy? I think that looks kind of cute, just the clear one. That's not the right shade of pink and it's too short. So I made some yesterday to try to match more of the fake succulents I got. Okay, so does this color look good? Yeah, I think that color looks good with it, right? Maybe it's cute. I feel like it could be a little lighter. I wish they didn't make the color so fucking bright on the alcohol ink. And then when I made the purple ones, when I poured in the purple dye, it sat nicely on the top and then the white sat nicely underneath it. With these guys, the pink and the white sort of just blended together, which isn't really what I was going for. So I might have to do it in 2 layers. Ooh. Okay. I think I kind of just want a little more neutral crystals, so maybe just a hint of peach and white and clear. And then I have one more crystal that I tried, and then we'll try again with my colors. So this one's definitely weird with the colors. It kind of looks cool, actually, but I don't. Yeah, that seems too big for this. This shorter size was actually better. So I have this purple one I made too. I think maybe if I make another one like this, but with more neutral colors, that'll look good there. Okay, so we got a game plan. This old Too Faced highlighter that I actually got 2 of, so I'm like, we should use one for resin. So that has kind of a green iridescent to it, and I thought that would fit with the succulents. So I used my brush again, and I had previously kind of like cut up my Too Faced so it was easier to get more pigment on, and I just really was fucking up my brush in the mold and trying to get in every crevice, and also trying to make sure I'm not getting big chunks stuck in there too. So I went through all the molds with my Too Faced highlighter, non-spots. And then I started mixing my resin, which is a 1-to-1 ratio of parts A and B mixed in a silicone cup, mixing for about 3 to 5 minutes until everything's well combined and you don't see any streaks. I then switch it to a new cup to make sure that I've got everything from the bottoms and the sides of the silicone cup I'm using combined, and stir it more. And it's been colder, so I have been putting my resin in a bucket of warm water to heat up before I use it, so it's easier and more accurate while you're measuring it out. And this time my game plan was for it to be a lot lighter in color. So I put a drop of pink in, mixed that thoroughly just to see what it looked like. And I didn't want to add too much orange because yesterday it turned too orange and then I had to keep adding more and more pink to correct it. So I just dipped the back of my spoon in the orange dye and then mixed that in. and I added some white alcohol ink in and a little more pink. And then I believe I also just dipped the back of my spoon in just a hint of brown to tone down the brightness. Just a very little amount. Mix that all together and then pour very thin layers to try to get rid of all the bubbles in between. So I pour a thin layer, go over it with my heat gun, pour another thin layer, go over it with my heat gun, yada yada yada. And then in my larger luster mold, I put some pink on the bottom and then I added some clear, and I just used my spoon to kind of just not thoroughly mix, but just mix up the clear and the pink a little in there. Not well though. And then I wanted to wait about a half an hour to make sure that when I pour the white, it's not going to mix in. It's gonna sit more on top of what I've just made. So after I go over the pink with the heat gun, I waited for about 30 minutes and then I mixed more resin and added white alcohol ink to that and then poured that over, filling the rest of the mold and then going over it one last time with my heat gun. So I'm like, yes, this is going to be the time that I finally have done it. We're going to be done with this. I've had to have got it right? No, they're definitely less bright, but it's still so pink. It doesn't look peachy at all. It just looks pink. You would never guess that I put any brown or orange in here. So I'm like, well, fuck. I don't want to waste another day making all of them one color just to have to make them all again. So I wanted to try 4 different things so I'm not just changing the colors oh so slightly every day until eventually years to come I could get it right. So my next try, not my last, but my next, I again put my Too Faced highlighter powder all up in my molds, then mixed my resin per usual very thoroughly, and then I poured my resin into 3 small cups and then left just some clear resin in my mixing cup. And so they're all gonna have white on the bottom like I've been doing, but I want one to be clear on the top. 2 different ones are gonna be 2 kind of different types of what I would say jade stone colors, and then trying again but with mica to get the like right light peachy tone I'm going for. I don't even know if peach is the right word now. You know, when you say something so much, it like loses all its meaning. So I added some light green mica into 1 cup, a very small amount of like a peachy mica to 1 cup with a little white alcohol ink because I think I added a little more mica than I meant to. And then I wanted to use alcohol inks to try to make a jade type color. I added a bit of a clover green is what they call it, but it's a green that's very close to turquoise, but still more green, and just put a little small drop of that in there. So then I poured a small layer of each of the colors into their own separate crystal molds, went over it with a heat gun, adding another small layer into each mold, going over it with a heat gun again until they're all about 3/4 of the way full. And then I'm going to wait for a half an hour again and come back and add the white. So I waited for a half an hour again and mixed my resin and then added white alcohol ink to that and filled the mold the rest of the way and went over it again with a heat gun. So this one I put the peachy mica in. So I think the peachy one actually looks good in here. So I think I'm going to try to make more of this one with just a little less mica in it. This is the clear and white one. You can definitely tell the line where the white and the clear starts, and I want that to be a little more ambiguous. So I'm gonna wait less time before I pour my white in, but I really like the way the clear and the white looks. I think it looks natural and I think it will look cute in here, especially if I do a bigger one with clear and white, I think will look really cool. So then for my greens, I like them both a lot. I don't think I'm going to keep them for this just because they don't really go with the greens of the succulent, but both turned out very well. I think this one's a little more just green, more of a true green. This one's more like of a green blue, like a minty color. And then this one's more transparent and this one's more opaque. I like both of them a lot. Again, I just don't think they necessarily fit for this. Hopefully today will be the last day of making fucking resin crystals, and then I won't be making resin crystals for a fucking minute. So I think I'm gonna try to do more of this color and more of the clear and white. I really hope today's my last day. So I made more crystals yesterday, and I'm really hoping that this is just good enough because I'm tired of making so many crystals in a row. I love crystals, but it's excessive. And these just like little slight changes. Now I feel like how Claire does on, or did on Bon Appetit. Anyway, okay, reveal. Oh my gosh. I always need like an assistant to help me. Okay, yes. Yay. I am happy with this. Oh my gosh. Yay. Oh my gosh. I am so happy. Not like this is fantastic or anything, just that I don't have to do this anymore. Fuck. Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely gonna need help getting the big one out, I think. So we'll just start with the small one. Oh, wait, this one's the easiest one. I should save that for last. Oh, yeah, this one's easier. Oh, fuck yeah, bitch. Ooh, yeah, get it. Oh, ooh. I'm disgusting. Okay. So pretty. Oh my god. Yay. This is making my dreams come true. Thank you, Lord. Oops, dog hair. My dogs are being my little audience for me right now. They're just sitting on the bed watching me. Well, only Ellie's watching me. Loki's falling asleep. No, he's not. Right when I said he was falling asleep. Look at this super ouch. Loki. Okay. Ta-da. Yay. I'm so happy with this color. It actually looks natural, which is what I was going for. I'm just placing them randomly for right now. Okay, this is the easiest one. Beautiful. Bitch, I'm liking it. Yay! I'm so happy with this color. Okay, let's try to get this out by myself. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm gonna ask my roommate to help me. Be right back. So my roommate just helped me get the crystal out of the mold, and I'm disappointed in this one. All the ones that I've done with this mold seem to, I guess this one's not as bad, but even this one does too. They all have bubbles that you can feel from the outside, which is very annoying to me. So yesterday when I mixed these, I did my regular mixing, and then I just put a little bit less of the kind of coral color that I did before. I just did a little bit less yesterday. And then with the big guy, so I filled it up to here with the original like light coral batch that I made. And then I had to make more, but I still had some white resin that I was leaving to the side because I wanted to have coral resin I put down cure just a little bit so the white doesn't completely mix in with the pink. So I needed to mix more of the coral, and I decided to add a little bit of white to it to help kind of blend it in stages. But I was afraid if I didn't use the white soon enough that it would get too thick to even pour. So I poured my new coral and white mixture in right after just the coral resin mixture, and then I added the white, but the white clearly sunk further down, so then I just added drips of white alcohol ink to the bottom to try to help somehow. I'm not crazy about this. I hate, like, the bubbles are killing me. I don't know. I don't think it looks horrible in here, but I'm not happy with it. So, but I don't want to make fucking another one. So I can either just work with the small crystals that I've made, or maybe I'll put in this guy, just this clear guy. Another intermission. Okay, I just ran up and down the stairs like 5 times and I'm really out of shape, so don't mind my panting. I feel like that almost looks out of place with the pink, but let's start playing around with it and seeing what looks good. I think I might be done with it. I think it's pretty cute. Okay, so this is the finished product. I think it turned out pretty well overall. Anyway, even though this process took forever, it turned out cute in the end. Also, shout out to Glossy Resin by Ela. Go check her out on Instagram. She also does really cool resin art.